Welcome back again for another week of Shabbos Covenant Oneg. This week is Parsha's Noach. We're very lucky to have with us an amazing artist all the way from Yerushalayim, Kalman, Delmoor. You can actually see some of his artwork that I commissioned him for behind me. You'll be hearing from him shortly. He'll share a short Dvar Torah and talk about what he does in his line of work. This week's Parsha has a very interesting thing that I want to point our direction to. Rav Shimon Schwab discusses it. It's a famous Rashi. Rashi points out something interesting in the pasuk, that he says that Noach was Miktane Emunah. Noach didn't fully believe that the Mabul was coming, or there was some element that was lacking, because we see that he only went into the Teva once the Mabul was already occurring. So what does that mean that he was Miktane Emunah? Noach spent 120 years building the Teva. He was led to be ridiculed by the various people in his generation. He was definitely an outlier. So what does it mean that he didn't have sufficient Emunah? So he points us to our direction to a Gemara in Sanhedrin, where it talks about the fact that one who doesn't believe in Tchias HaMesim will not merit eventually to Tchias HaMesim. And the reason being because certain elements of the way Hashem runs the world are controlled by how we manifest our thoughts about that item. So if one doesn't believe in the afterlife, then he may very well not be privy to the afterlife. And in various ways, he mentions also a Noam Elimelech that points out a similar idea regarding Shemitah, that when one believes in the way that Shemitah brings special blessings into the world, that effectively allows the blessing of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to take place on his crops. If one doesn't believe in the blessing of Shemitah, it won't manifest for him. So utilizing that as a key, a little bit of an opening to understanding the way the world works. Obviously there are things, if you don't believe in gravity will still work. But there are certain things that Hashem leaves open to the Emunah, or the Bitachon, practical bitachon of what the person's belief is. So Noach really didn't want that Mabul to happen. He really wanted to give people a little bit more time, another chance to allow them to do tshuva, allow them to get back to where they're supposed to be, and sort of stave off the Mabul from happening. So in that capacity, he didn't have the power to do that. Hashem had told him it would come at a certain point, it was going to happen. But the Ketani Emunah component of Noach's belief was that he was trying to not believe in it to the degree that maybe he could hold it off just a little bit longer. And with that, I'd like to introduce Kalman, that's going to discuss a little bit about the rainbow, the different colorful components to it. And I hope you enjoy this piece having to do with artwork. Shabbat Shalom.
Hi, Shalom friends. My name is Kalman Gavriel. I'm here in Yerushalayim, near Kodesh. I want to share a beautiful idea I heard about Parshat Noach. As we know, this week's Parsha is Parshat Noach. It's an unbelievable story, so many different factors, and so unique. After the story of the flood, Noach and his family leave the Teva, and then Hashem gives them a talk and creates a new covenant with them and a new relationship. He renews the relationship in order that there will never be another flood that destroys the world. And in chapter 9, verse 13, God says, "Et kashti natati ba'anan v'haita le'ot brit beini u'bein haaretz." My rainbow I put in the clouds, and it will be a sign of the covenant between me and the land. The first thing we learn is that it's a sign that when we see a rainbow, that God is, on a simple level, that God may be upset or unsatisfied, but he's not going to destroy. He's not going to destroy the way he did in the generation of Noach. I saw a beautiful chizkuni commentary on this verse, and it was unbelievable. I want to share it with you today. He says, first, what is the rainbow? He says a rainbow is a very lofty celestial sign and form connected to God's glory, to the honor of God. Very, very high up. He relates it to the verse in Yechezkel, chapter 1, verse 28, that says, K'mareh HaKeshet, like the appearance of the rainbow, which is in the clouds in the days of the rain, so too is the great light that surrounds it. It's like the appearance and the form of the honor of God. So he says, the Chizkuni says, the rainbow is like God's honor. Wow. He says, what's the relationship between God's honor and the rainbow? He says, when Hashem showed the rainbow, he promises, and what he says is just like the rainbow is a full elements of both water and fire that come together in the rain and the sun and the reflection. They don't destroy, they don't cancel each other out. One doesn't overpower the other. They both come together to create this rainbow. And what is the rainbow? The rainbow is like a penetrating look inside of the fabric of this world, inside of the colors of this world. Right? We see the colors of the rainbow, the variety, and at the same time, that variety sticks, it stays. One color, one element doesn't destroy the other elements. And in the story of the flood, that's exactly what happened. Hashem allows that the water comes down and it wipes out everything. It destroys everything. So we know that destruction was really so everything can be rebuilt. But Hashem is saying no. From now on, the nature of this world, the possibility and the potential of this world is that each element can fit in, not destroy, not exclusively, but inclusively. And I think, to me, this message for this week is that from the Parsha of Noach, from the idea of the rainbow, we can see that there's so many different elements in our life. There's so many different types of people. There's such a variety, but at the center of it is God's honor. Hashem created this world so we can create a tikkun, so we can fix this world, so we can uplift this world. And every person, every opinion, every experience is important. It doesn't mean people don't sin and that we shouldn't sin. It doesn't mean we can do whatever we want. But what it means is that we can come together, we can look, what is the root? What is the root, the essence of our strength? And how do we bring those elements together so that my fire and your water won't extinguish and destroy each other's inner light? And together we can build the world, and the world can reach the final redemption without another destruction of the world. So I think that's a lesson that I'm taking from this week's Parsha. Thank you so much. God bless from Jerusalem. Shalom everybody, my name's Kalman Gavriel. My website's thejerusalemscribe.com. I'm a classically trained Torah scribe. I work in scribal artwork, customized pieces, taking verses, pesukim, something that inspires you, an idea you may have, a design, consulting with you and creating a one-of-a-kind piece that you and your family can cherish. God bless. Hope to see you soon.